Following the fall of France, Adolf Hitler turned his attention to Britain, aiming to secure control over all of Europe. However, this task was formidable. Britain possessed the world's largest war fleet and was an island accessible only by sea. Hermann Göring, a key figure in the German military, assured Hitler that the German Air Force could swiftly destroy Britain and its naval fleet. Thus, Hitler launched the largest air invasion in history. Although Germany inflicted significant damage on Britain, a fateful decision by Hitler led to the failure of the German air attack in the crucial moments. This defeat marked a turning point in World War II. Join us for a new episode as we delve into Hitler's invasion strategy of Britain. On June 4, 1940, as the last British forces withdrew from France, they found themselves at Dunkirk Beach. France had fallen into the hands of the Germans, and historians often credit Britain's successful evacuation from France to a crucial decision made by Adolf Hitler. Surprisingly, Hitler initially sought to avoid direct conflict with Great Britain. His goal was to negotiate peace with Britain, allowing them to focus on launching an attack against the Soviet Union. However, British Prime Minister Winston Churchill, known for his intelligence and foresight, refused to engage in any negotiations with Hitler. Despite immense pressure from British politicians, Churchill understood Hitler's ambitions and the need to prevent him from controlling the world unopposed. In a powerful speech, Churchill rallied the British people, declaring that the battle for France was over, but the battle for Britain was about to begin. Facing the German threat, he vowed that Britain would fight on the beaches, in the landing zones, in the fields, streets, and hills, never surrendering. Churchill's resolve ensured that Germany would not gain a foothold through a naval invasion of Britain, especially after the Germans had taken control of France and the French fleet now answered to a government loyal to Hitler. Churchill issued orders for the British Navy to sink the French fleet stationed in Algeria at Mers el Kabir. This bold move resulted in the destruction of the French fleet and the loss of 1,300 French sailors. Churchill later described the decision as one of the most difficult and hateful choices he had ever made. However, the attack sent a clear message to Adolf Hitler. Britain was prepared for war and would not engage in negotiations. While the British Navy maintained control of the sea, Hitler's formidable weapon, the Luftwaffe, dominated the skies. On July 6, 1940, Hitler sought to dissuade Churchill from his stance. The commander of the Luftwaffe, Hermann Göring, ordered the closure of the British Channel to the British fleet, initiating what the British called Operation Sea Lion. Despite the German Air Force successfully closing the channel, Churchill remained resolute. On July 19th, Hitler issued an ultimatum to Britain, demanding negotiations or dire consequences. Churchill rejected the ultimatum, making it clear that Britain understood the strength and danger posed by Germany. Hitler responded by intensifying air attacks on British forces, the infamous Eagle attack. In August 1940, hundreds of German planes began bombing British airports, marking the start of the largest and most powerful air battles between German and British aircraft. The skies over Britain were stained with blood, and the situation became increasingly dire for the British Air Force. In late August, the British Air Force faced a critical situation, nearly losing control of the airspace over southern Britain. The German Luftwaffe held the upper hand in Britain's skies. However, a pivotal incident would soon alter the course of events. On August 24, 1940, German planes mistakenly dropped a bomb on civilians in London. This accidental attack provoked British Prime Minister Winston Churchill, who swiftly ordered retaliation. The target? Berlin, the heart of Nazi Germany. Despite objections from his generals, who deemed the operation suicidal due to Berlin's distance from Britain, Churchill remained steadfast. A small group of British pilots successfully bombed Berlin. Hitler, infuriated by this audacious move, vowed to retaliate. He ordered the German Air Force to shift its focus from military targets to major British cities. London endured approximately 100,000 explosive bombs and 1 million incendiary bombs. In November 1940, another British city suffered a severe airstrike, resulting in the deaths of over 500 Britons. Hitler's promise of 3 bombs for everyone dropped escalated the conflict. However, Hitler's decision to target cities proved disastrous. By shifting away from military objectives, he inadvertently weakened his own position. The relentless bombing of British cities galvanized the British people, and Churchill emerged as a national hero. Meanwhile, Britain rallied, assembling its air force and bolstering radar and air defense systems. Hitler's strategic blunder ultimately contributed to the turning tide in the Battle of Britain, securing Churchill's legacy and challenging the tyranny of the Nazi regime. Britain established 21 radar stations along the southern and eastern coasts, each with a length of 110 meters. These radar stations enabled monitoring of German aircraft from a distance of 13 miles. Additionally, 30 shorter-range radars were deployed to track low-flying attacks. Over 3,000 observation points, staffed by volunteers day and night, diligently monitored and reported German air raids. As a result, the tide of the war began to turn against the German Air Force. Germany remained unaware of Britain's advanced radar technology. On September 15th, the world's longest aerial battle commenced, the Battle of Britain. Around 1 a.m., the first raid involved 145 German aircraft, prompting Britain to dispatch 275 planes to intercept. For the first time, Britain outnumbered its opponent. Although the initial face-to-face air combat repelled the German attack, 6 enemy planes managed to escape and drop bombs on London. This German raid served as a prelude to a larger assault later that afternoon, involving 330 German planes. However, British radars closely monitored this force. Intelligence reports prompted the British Air Force to send planes for another confrontation. A fierce aerial battle ensued between German and British aircraft, filling the sky with smoke and fire. Both sides were utterly exhausted. Due to the distance from their bases, the German planes eventually ran out of fuel and were forced to return to the French coast for refueling. The British planes pursued them, but strict orders prevented the British Air Force from crossing the British Channel, fearing fuel and ammunition shortages. At 5 o'clock, the German Air Force dispatched another squadron to destroy British aircraft. Britain responded by scrambling additional planes. This battle proved decisive. If the British Air Force were defeated, London would fall. Many German planes were destroyed, while the British suffered fewer casualties, signaling the faltering of the German Air Force. This marked the beginning of its decline, eroding Hitler's confidence. He then ordered the redistribution of forces gathered on the French coast. This setback marked Hitler's first defeat and played a pivotal role in Germany's ultimate defeat in the war. And with that, we conclude our story.